All right, kids, welcome back to another edition of This Week on Blu-ray and DVD and Video on Demand. I'm your host, Thor. Let me take you through this journey. We begin with Transcendence, one of the strangest and possibly worst films of 2014, starring Johnny Depp. And in this movie, he plays Dr. Will Castor, and he is an expert when it comes to artificial intelligence. But when he gets shot, he essentially becomes a machine and is a threat to all mankind. Have a look.
The path to building superintelligence requires us to unlock the most fundamental secrets of the universe.
Sir.
Oh my God. It's like my mind has been set free. I need to expand. I need more power. Get me online. This is going well.
Shut it down.
Yes, you need more power and we need more patience watching this. This is from director Wally Pfister. In his first feature film, he is best known as a cinematographer from Inception. He knows how to make pretty pictures, but not a cohesive story. And you've got a good cast here with Johnny Depp, Rebecca Hall, Paul Bettany, Clifton Collins Jr., Morgan Freeman, but none of them can make sense of the bizarre script. It's got a lot of silly cliches in it, and it's got a really strange twist near the end. And unfortunately, it was just all too bizarre to follow, and it gets really preachy at times. So Johnny Depp essentially kind of mailing it in on this one. So Transcendence for me was a total fail, a total pass, and you probably don't want to check that one out. That's just my opinion, my humble opinion for you. Let's move on from that and talk Jude Law in Dom Hemingway, and in this one he plays an expert safecracker. This is a very interesting role for Jude Law, not necessarily a glamorous one, but he gets out of prison and he basically has to go and seek revenge for why he was put away for 12 years. But when a long-awaited payday goes awry, he tries to reconnect with his estranged daughter, played by Emilia Clarke.
I'm a legend, a myth, a glorious tale to be handed down from generation to generation. I am Dom Hemingway!
Dad, you've got to be kidding me.
There you go, and Emilia Clarke you may recognize as Khaleesi from Game of Thrones. I always love seeing her in different roles. So he may be tempted to crack safes again once he meets up with her. It's an interesting tale, and it goes from comedy to sort of drama to a lot of action, and sometimes gets a little bit muddled in between. And it does sort of bring home the heartstrings and the father-daughter story near the end of it, which I didn't really care for, but Richard E. Grant has a scene-stealing sort of character in this movie. I really like Dom Hemingway because Jude Law is not afraid to tackle these roles that don't make him glamorous, and he's not afraid to play the bad guy. So I really like this one. It's got some great lines in it. It was really clever and well written, and despite it getting a little sappy towards the end, I can recommend it. Really enjoyed this flick overall. And just to see Jude Law sharing scenes with Richard E. Grant wearing those suits, that's worth the price of admission alone. Okay, next, we're talking about a very strange one from one of my favorite directors, Terry Gilliam. Yes, he was the guy responsible for all the animation in Monty Python, and this completes his Orwellian trilogy following from Brazil, 12 Monkeys, and now you have Christoph Waltz in The Zero Theorem. Check it out.
Everyone's getting rich, except you.
We are dying.
Who's we?
Us. Ourselves.
There's only one of you.
So it would appear.
Quinn, how's it hanging?
It isn't hanging at all well.
Eh? Sorry?
A fear of death, fear of life, fear of open spaces, fear of people.
We fear nothing most.
Yeah, there you go. You got Tilda Swinton in this one and David Thewlis. A very strange movie. Waltz plays a computer genius on the verge of a great discovery. He's under surveillance by a shadowy figure known as Management, played by Matt Damon. And so he gets tasked with deciphering a seemingly unsolvable zero theorem, which is a mathematical formula that could unlock the meaning of everything. Very ambitious plot, but Terry Gilliam, he's known for his crazy style and his wacky production design with his movies, and this one has that in spades. I did hear today, too, that this movie, because of a lot of demand, will get released in theaters here in Canada, so you can check that out on the big screen if you are a big fan of Terry Gilliam's lavish style. He's got such a great signature look and a unique perspective on films, and he's so needed in today's crowded world of Hollywood blockbusters that don't have a lot of thought put into the story. So I did enjoy this one, despite it being at times very incoherent. It's just got so many hallmark trademarks of Terry Gilliam there, and yeah, yeah, it just rounds out the incredible sort of trilogy that is Brazil, 12 Monkeys, and now you have the Zero Theorem. And two-time Oscar winner Christoph Waltz is sensational in this flick. Okay, there you go. Next, we're talking Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's back in another movie. This was very disappointing at the box office, so it went basically straight to Blu-ray and DVD. We're talking about Sabotage. And you got a good cast in this one, along with Sam Worthington, Terrence Howard, Mariel Enos from The Killing, and Joe Manganiello. And members of an elite DEA task force find themselves being taken down one by one after they rob a drug cartel safe house. So things go from bad to worse for Arnie and his crew. Good cast in this one. I really got into all the characters. Sort of a B movie at the end of the day. But if you like your action and you like your DEA, you know, crooked cops, drug enforcement, drugs, money, guns, all that stuff, it's got an excellent cast as well, so you might want to check that one out. It's worth maybe one watch, but not necessarily one that you'd want to buy and keep on Blu-ray or DVD. Okay, now we're talking about Ron Howard in his documentary debut, Made in America, and he teams up with Jay-Z in this one. And this was very cool. Budweiser put on a big concert in Philadelphia, and nearly 80,000 people attended this festival. Made in America captured performances from Jay-Z himself, who headlined the concert. And this documentary has Ron Howard talking to all the performers, going backstage, talking to vendors and things like that. Pearl Jam, Run DMC, Drake, The Hive, Passion Pit, Janelle Monáe, Skrillex. A lot of great current and contemporary bands and artists in this one, and it gives you a really interesting behind-the-scenes look and captures this music festival that happened in the city of brotherly love very well. And it's interesting to see Ron Howard behind the scenes asking questions to all these music superstars. So there you go, Made in America, very interesting documentary from Richie Cunningham himself. And we leave you with a masterpiece now on Blu-ray from 1980, the three-part miniseries Shogun, based on James Clavell's best-selling novel. And this was a really groundbreaking series at the time. Apparently, bars and restaurants at the time were doing such poor business during the weeks that this was on because people were literally glued to their television sets. They didn't want to leave home because they were so focused on Shogun and where this was going. Richard Chamberlain is in the lead. You've got John Rhys Davies as well, and Toshiro Mifune plays Taranga. And basically, it's set in 17th century feudal Japan, and Richard Chamberlain plays a captain, a British captain who gets marooned in Japan, and then he gets embroiled in all the civil war and the politics that are going on at the time. There are nearly 2 hours of fascinating and compelling features that delve into how they made this production. One of the best things about it, it was all shot on location in Japan. Just incredible stuff too with some of the ships that they actually built. It's got beautiful romance, great drama, wonderful acting, a screenplay that has not dated. It's still very, very coherent and very sort of applicable to today's time. And that's what I love about it. It's also got some breathtaking action scenes and sweeping visuals. I was hooked. I mean, it's over 9 hours, this thing, when you put it all together, but Shogun, a classic, and it looks beautiful on Blu-ray, just a masterpiece, and it looks stunning on high def. There you go, people, lots to choose from this week. I'm Thor Dykow. It's this week on Blu-ray and DVD and video on demand. Check me out on Twitter. See you next week on btvancouver.ca.